Hi everyone, Paul Morbid here of Morbid Team Entertainment. So this is a Bolex standard double 8mm D8-L. For those who want to remove some of these dials right here, clean around them, under them, or in case they've been set in a proper way due to age and time. See, I got some rust issues on my chrome here. For this undergoing project, continuing, you first, let's say this instead of S, which it is. See the indentation right here, a little line. Okay, first you want to, very first thing you want to do, in all vintage movie cameras that are spring wound, is to fully wind down the motor before disassembly. Otherwise, this camera and these spring wound cameras with a motor right here is going to instantly unwind fast and snap to a stop, becoming broken. You'll have to then replace the motor. You had to find a junk camera online with a working motor and switch it out. Okay? Bolex never intended for these motors to be repaired, only replaced. So concerning the dial here, such as this one, take a look at how it's set. That's at S. This little arm right here that you see, okay, it's really firm in there. It's screwed down, of course, as you can see. If I try to push it or move it, I'm getting nothing. Okay, so let's leave it that way. So you see that set at S. That little arm right there sticking out, that's at S. So let's do this. It's easier to turn this around. What you want to do is take your dial and turn it down here, and it's going to stop right there. See that selection right at the end of my pencil eraser, and there's the line. Now if you take a look at it, you can see this little arm right here has bottomed out at that little hook. Okay, so if I take it and move it, so I'll move this dial here with one of my fingers. Okay, so take a look as I turn the dial. Here's what's going on. That's the action inside. Okay, now I'm going to take it and turn it again, and there we go. Okay, so I've got it set for where I want it. Upon assembly and then reassembly, I know where I am. Okay, so let's turn this back around, take a look. We see where we are right here, lines up with a little indentation line. Alright, so with these little holes right here at the end of my pencil eraser, you're going to need a tool. Now if you have a set of pliers for that's rounded out, that's great. Okay, I am using a lens spanner tool. Here you can unscrew these just a touch, and these two parts of the tool slide across the bar. Then you can lock them back. One end is flathead, the upper are pointed, just like so. I'll put this protector back on here. I need to get these two flathead ends into the metal chrome indentions. So let's get a close-up on this. That should be good. Again, the chrome indentions are here for the spanner. Let's put it in there just like that. push it in a little bit. I tend to put my thumb and finger here. Turn down. Okay, and you see it starts to move along right there. Okay. Let's open up and take a look at it, how it looks underneath. Okay, not much. Now let's close it back up and turn it around here. So I'm simply going to remove this, take it off. There you are. Of course it's threaded. And when you're overhauling a camera, you can see all of the rust, okay, the old chrome, and you want to clean that up. We'll just put that off to the side. Next, you have your dial. Again, remember how it's set. Okay. We'll just go up under here. And lift it up. Very easy. That's underneath. Don't forget about the locking mechanism right here. Okay? We're going to keep that upside down. Okay, next. This little chrome part on the dial right here. Sometimes it's a little troublesome, but what you can do is just move the bottom around. You can actually pull out at the bottom here. Okay, that little bar. Or you can take a pair of pliers and gently move this back and forth, because generally there's rust and corrosion under it. Okay, and then we can lift this right off. Okay, open up a little bit here. And there you go. And that's it. Okay. Now you're essentially free to remove this screwdriver. There's a little indentation right here. There's 1 and 2. Okay. So you can just go up under here and pry it up. What I do right here is, see my finger at the bottom? You see this rusted part? I just kind of move that loose. Yeah, that's loose. And that gives me some room to pull this thing off. Just like that. Okay. So there you are. And there you are. Just place that off to the side. And here, where it's moving around, okay, what you want to do is this. Okay, so far I'm working on this screw and it's getting a little mangled, but it just doesn't want to give. It's really frozen in there. You're going to come across this, alright? And remember, upon that you intend to take the dive and work your own camera, attempt to repair it, any mistakes you make upon your camera, a camera, and or person or persons are all on you. And it's best to send your vintage camera to a service technician for repair. Alright, so being a slow process, it's the easy ones that get you, huh? So I'm going to take some weapons oil, which is always best. As reading here, the best for lubrication, especially on something like this. Alright, so I'm just going to take a drop and put on there. I'm going to take 2. And I got to let it sit. That's all to do. If I don't, you don't want to strip it. That can be the worst thing. These cameras have small screws. You can't really apply heat to it because of the plastics around it. You know, otherwise I'd have to take this whole motor out, take this gear off for just a simple part. Alright, we're waiting. Alright, so after applying that weapons oil, you can see I've got some, in about 5 minutes, which is very fortunate, I've got some movement. Always good. I just had to replace this screw. Got it out. Screw with washer. Okay. You can probably see the washer on there. Alright. That goes up in there. The Bolex ports on this model. Okay. Now for the little hook here. Screwdriver. Lift it up. Okay. And there we are. There's the part. Okay. Put that over with the other parts. Open this back up. And now we can focus our attention back here with this dial. So I'm just going to take a pair of pliers, grab it, lift this out. Okay. There it is underneath. Rusty, got to clean it up. Again, there's no vintage movie camera that works perfectly when you get it in. Always send it to a service technician for an overhaul. You can have all this rust and everything. It's going to cause you problems. Okay, so next you have this spring washer. It's bent downwards. Okay, so I'll show you as we pull it up. You see how that's the way it's bent downwards, and that's how you install it. Separate them. 2 downwards. Okay, clean those off and then re-lubricate them. Alright, so that's off to the side. So you want to clean around in this area as well. Close the hatch. Clean around in here. Do it with some rubbing alcohol. That should be fine. Okay, and there you are. And that is how you remove the dial. Okay? Okay, so let's say that we cleaned everything. Okay? Remember these 2 spring washers pointing down. Put them together. This is the fun part. Put it in there. And wipe your finger back. Don't lift your finger up, wipe your finger back. Okay. Next, this piece. Okay. So you just want to drop that in there. That's what you want to do. Drop it in down here. That should be good enough for right now. Okay. So there we are. Next, the ever so troublesome simple hook. Again, there's one side. This part faces down into the camera. This one up, right? And there's a little hole up top, and it fits on this little needle here at the end of my pencil eraser. Generally makes it easier to keep in place. Alright, now for the trusty toothpick. Okay, that's locked in. Turn that right there at the hook. Okay. And now for my screw. Here's my screw with the washer up under it. Yeah, it's a little mangled. I'll change it later. This is an ongoing project. They all are. Again, welcome to vintage camera repair. Okay. A couple of tugs are fine. Alright, so you see we're in position here. But you're still going to have to hold your finger, one of them, on this part. Turn it around. Okay. Turn it over. You'll see how this moves around in here, right? Fun stuff. Okay. Next goes the dial indicator that you've cleaned. Put that on there. And again, remember where it's set. This part, the little flag right there, to the line, okay? Let's get another angle. Okay, and by the way, this dial indicator right here, it will move around on you. Okay, so you have to be careful with that. Get it lined up. And subject to the roll is fun. Okay. Take this piece. If you look at it, it only works one way. So notice this construction, and here. It's going to lock in there. But again, that dial is going to give you a fit. It can, if you let it. Once this is locked in here, just push it down. Okay. Kind of move that around and get it lined up properly even more. Alright, that's in there. Now the dial cover. That's the bottom. Okay. Just take it and slide it down on here, really until it stops. Press it in just a touch, but not too much or you'll break it. Okay. Just a little bit. Then this locking screw. Okay. Put it on there and just start turning. Okay. Okay, once you get that screwed in there fairly tight, again, not too much, you don't want to break this plastic dial cover. I'm going to take my spanner tool here, put in those little indentions. Okay, and I'm going to give it a bit of a turn. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, and again, not too much. There's 2, 3, 4 light ones, and that's all that's needed. Because these things right here crack easily, alright? Gotta make sure it's seated in here properly. Get that spring on the bottom. It's going to pinch you in the finger right there. It's going to stick you. And it can be painful. Wear some gloves if you like. Widen that up. Now clip it in. Get that unlocked there. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, so that's about 4 turns basically, and that's enough. Okay. Give it a test like I'm doing right here. Here it can be a bit loose. Turning it up can be a bit tight. Check the sides of it. Always wise to make sure it's seated properly. Okay? There you go. Okay, so what I did was I used my spanner tool and I turned this essentially 18 times, basically, until I could feel it got tight. It's not going to crack the plastic. Alright. And then I had to go and test it, because you want to make sure that this dial indicator, this disc underneath, is not going to move around. If you do that, then you got to start over about halfway. That's why you want to get it bottomed out here. The dial, it bottoms out right on the motor cover. See that? And right there. Let's take a close-up for you. See how that dial cover bottoms out where the motor is here? And there you are on that indicator. How much light you want to let in. And there's the line. Okay? So again, now after you got it set, when you're turning this, what you're looking for is to make sure this little dial indicator is not moving around. Okay? Then you want to check and see if you got your screw inserted wrong. You don't want to strip it. It needs to be sitting smoothly down in there. Okay? So that's what you're looking for, to make sure that the dial indicator cover down there at the bottom, the dial indicator is not moving around. Okay? And there we go. So there we have it, with the Bolex standard double 8mm D8-L. Alright, so remember about those knobs right there. That's essentially how it's done, at least with that one. Okay? Do contact me at the social media outlet provided on the screen, and remember, as always, do subscribe. Until next time, later.